Hello, and welcome once again to the Life. We are in our second season, and we are so seasonably happy, and we are so joyful and grateful. So, thank you again for joining us in our fabulous season 2, and we will be grateful if you join us for season 3 and all our wonderful guests. So, I hope everyone is having a great week, staying cool because this weather, it's been warm, it's been hot, it's been warm and hot. It's just too much for me. So, like my mama used to say, less is more. But, I ain't going to go no further with that. But, yeah, y'all got to keep it cool. So, anywho, we have a great show for you. We're excited. We always have such interesting guests that have interesting careers or professions. And it's one in particular that I can't wait for us to speak to because I think this is pretty much something I think we all may enjoy once we hear the story. So let me go ahead and introduce our hostess for the mostest. My left hand with my right hand not doing the right thing, Mr. Gerald Anderson. Oh, forgot your name.
We all been working together for how many years now?
I'm going to call you Mr. Vanessa Anderson. That's what I was about to do. I was like, I don't forgot the man's name after he done got married. You don't exist no more. It is no more you. But hello, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Joel C. Anderson.
Well, good evening, brother.
I know, right? I almost forgot your name. That's good, though.
Wow.
First time.
So it was that heat because we was talking about the heat backstage. So I think the heat probably got to you.
It probably is, and all this extra hair that I be purchasing. It's like this don't help. I gotta let this scalp breathe. I think. It's over.
All right.
But how was your week? You had a good week.
Next show. Next show.
I passed that part.
About the week. Next show, I'm going to tell you about my week. I can't tell it now, but next show, I got some stories for y'all.
And I got some jokes.
So remember the next show. Ask me that question again about this week.
Yes. So that's going to be very interesting. I can't wait. But it's been a really hot week. It's just been scorching hot just on a daily basis. Insane. So, I just don't know what to do. I think it has a lot to do with climate change, though. What do you think?
Could be.
Okay. Thanks for your insight. All right, let's get to our guest because you're boring. All right. So we know we need to kind of get to one of our guests pretty quick because she's a busy young lady and we don't want to keep her. And we don't want Desiree calling us, yelling at us because we love Desiree. We love us some Desiree.
Desiree would never yell at us.
She gonna yell at you.
She'll yell at you. She won't yell.
She ain't got my number. But yeah, so I think I think maybe
she'll relay the yell. That's what she'll do.
Yeah, there you go. So you want to get to our first guest now, or you want us to kind of what you want to do?
Sure. Let's talk to her.
All right,
I'm excited to talk to her.
Yeah.
We've never had anyone in this space before, so this will be the first time.
Exactly. That's why I'm like excited. I think this is so interesting and so cool. I love it. So you do the intro.
You just want to do it because you think
No,
you think I'm gonna mess up her name. That's why you want me to do it.
Of course.
Well, as I said before, we've never had anybody in this space before, and this person, she was a flight attendant, but she didn't stop right there. Instead, she went out and got her own business as a flight attendant, incorporated as a flight attendant. and I think it's called Exclusive In Flight. So let's welcome to the stage Miss Tasha Funz.
Yes, what's that last name?
Say
Okay.
it. I don't have to say it once.
You're not gonna say that twice. It's not Funnins.
It's Tasha.
Well, welcome, my dear. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be on here.
Yes, yes. So right off the bat, when I was reading everything up on you, I was like, you know what? You're one of those young ladies that's like, you know what? I don't just want to be a flight attendant. I'm gonna be a flight attendant, but I'm gonna be more than just a flight attendant. So tell us that story and why did that intrigue you so much?
Sure, absolutely. So, yes, I was a flight attendant and have been a flight attendant for many, many moons. And what started this whole company in the initial phase of everything is that there wasn't a lot of minority flight attendants in the aviation industry. And I had gotten tired of not seeing brown and black girls that looked like me. So I said, you know what? It's time for me to change the narrative. Let me start a company that specializes in training flight attendants and specializes in training girls and guys that want to join the industry that look like me so that we can change the whole narrative of what we usually see on board the aircraft. On commercial jets, you typically will see African American or Latino or every other race, but in private aviation, it's a small, small sector, and it's not too many of us.
That's so true. Well, I was a flight attendant, and I
Oh,
was a flight attendant for American Airlines. And one of the reasons why I left is because I got bored with it, and because I didn't see many of us.
mhm.
And I thought about doing private flights. So it's interesting that you've had this, experience and this profession, but you actually took it to a whole nother level.
Yes, yes, I did, Tina. Like I said, it was important for me to make sure that it looked different and putting my girls and my guys of other ethnicity in front of these candidates to let them know that they're capable and able just as the other girls and guys.
Mhm. So what made you feel like, you know what, I want to take this on, and not only take this on, but take it on and just show that, we can do it too. It's not just for, you know, y- the basics or what we visually see all the time. You know what I'm trying to say? But but what made you want to say, you know what, I'm going to take on this responsibility, show us that it can be different. We can do it too.
Yeah, so like you said, Tina, when you were a flight attendant, it wasn't a whole lot of us in the industry,
Mhm.
right? So unfortunately, there was no mentorship. I didn't have anybody to go to and say, like, how do we do this? How do we cross the bridge over into private aviation? Once I figured out that blueprint, it was ready, set, go for me, girl. I said, no, now that I know how it's done, it's time for me to incorporate some differences.
So, what were some of the things you incorporated, and how many have you trained? And that you can start from there because I'll keep going. Gerald looking like I have questions too. I see his face. I see his face.
I've trained countless many girls and guys. I couldn't even give you a number to be quite honest.
Hmm.
But I've been doing this for a little bit over 20 years, so I got some work underneath my belt there.
Good deal. Good deal. I love it. Go ahead, Gerald. I'm sure you have a question.
So I know you had. I know you've been doing this well because I know you got some high powered people that you've been servicing, and so
Oh,
I think.
mamas. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Well, she wants to mention, Barack and Michelle Obama. I welcome her to do that, but it said you're empowering women of color to excel in this area. So, how's that going? Tell us how it's going in that area.
It's actually going good. Believe it or not, it's trying times right now, and it's an uphill battle. But as long as we stay focused with our recruits and our potential candidates, like I said, putting them in front of the right people and making sure that they have a seat at the table. That's all I'm here for.
Yes.
And
Yes.
how competitive is this field? Because
Mm.
this is something I never knew even existed. I'd see flight attendants on the plane. I just figured they work for the airlines and stuff. But so you're doing something that I've never heard of before. So how competitive is this business?
It's extremely competitive, and it's also an investment. There's a specific type of training that you have to have in order to be on a corporate jet. And that's something that could be a little costly and discouraging for some people that are trying to join into this program or start their career in private aviation. But just like anything, it's an investment. And once you get the training underneath your belt and you put yourself in positions, you're networking, you're going to the places that you need to and meeting other flight attendants, it would all work out for them.
Okay.
Okay. And so, what were some of the challenges that you did come across, and you kind of, seen the other side of it now? But looking back, you're like, wow, like, what is that one thing that's like, I made it through that, and that was challenging?
Mhm. Well, there has been clients that have requested specific type of clients on board their aircraft. So
Mhm.
that in itself can be challenging. But getting on board the aircraft and excelling at my service, excelling at everything that I'm able to do on board, it persuades them to understand that, hey, okay, maybe it's okay to have a girl of color or someone of
Mhm.
another ethnicity other than what they're usually capable of seeing on board.
And what type of do you train your people to have a certain level of like um, hospitality or services to just kind of not be like, I guess you can say like VIP, but have like a certain standard with the hospitality so that it exceeds and excels over just the basic hospitality or services on an airline?
Yes, there is an in-depth process with private aviation, and there's VIP servicing, standardization, customization. There's a whole different ball game outside of what you would normally see on a regular commercial jet. We do a lot of things on our own as far as shopping, having to acquire certain products and items
Mhm.
that our clients may want or have on board. So it's a little bit more in depth that you have to be attentive to.
So, what are some of the qualifications one has to have in order to be like get connected with your services?
Well, I highly recommend if you are an experienced flight attendant, then you're more than welcome to visit my website, www.exclusiveinflight.com. As I said, I have for one-on-one mentorship and training to transition you over into private. But if you're new to the industry and you are wanting to kind of just get into into aviation,
Mhm.
then definitely, piquing your interest into some of the skills that are needed in order to be a successful flight attendant. We offer those courses as well for new candidates.
Okay, good. And with your mentorship, I know that's separate probably from like the training, because I remember when I went through training, it was long, and I mean it was a process. So how does your training? How does that actually go about?
My mentorship is based on whatever the actual client wants. So we can do a 1 month, 2 month type of program. It varies just based on whatever services that they need.
So the training for like the flight attendants, what type of training you give them? Because if they come with no background of being a flight attendant, what is it you can offer them? What type of training you give
Now
them?
that's more so one-on-one skills and essential information on the functions of a flight attendant. So it's the
Mhm.
beginning, very, very basic beginning phase of aviation.
Yeah, and make sure you tell a lot of us that you got to know how to swim, because you do
Well, that's
you have
automatic
to
when you
know how to
go. They kind of force you to do the swimming portion.
yeah.
So
All
how
right.
do corporations find you? So different corporations obviously find you and hire you. How do they find you?
So, because I've been doing this for a little bit over 20 years, as I stated, a lot of people just know me from the industry,
Mhm.
but a lot of companies and corporations reach out through my website to book me for whatever type of services. Not only do I offer training for flight attendants, but I also assist if a new client gets a new jet and they need their jet to be completely modified with china, dishes, all
Oh,
kinds of things like that. I completely outfit and design the aircraft to their liking.
Mm.
oh,
Okay.
wow. Okay.
Mhm.
So you're like a designer, like an aircraft designer on the side. That's pretty unique. That's different. I
Yeah.
haven't heard about that one. Now that's different for sure. And is that your own business as well? That you is just another portion to what you do?
Yes, it's an additional portion underneath the umbrella of exclusive in flight.
And how
So
long does a flight attendant have to? How much? I guess how many years experience does a flight attendant have to have in order to be a part of your company?
Well, there's no requirement because, like I said, I train people that are new to the industry and potentially want to become a flight attendant. But then for the seasoned girls that have been with commercial companies and they want to come over to private, I do recommend for them to at least have at least 3 to 5 years experience before they make that transition. It's
Okay.
not anything like commercial. It's very, very much hands-on.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And also, what, because I know, you're into, you've gotten into flight attendant, you've gotten your private entity portion to your business as well. But what made you want to do this? Like, you was a little girl and said, I want to be a flight attendant. I want to have my own private sector. Like, what was it that Tasha thought about as a child or as a teenager that, kind of geared you up for this? What were some of the things that you've done or have experienced?
Yeah, so I think more so just traveling. My family, we traveled a lot when I was little. So just getting on board the aircraft and seeing the ladies and how pretty they were. I remember telling my mom, I said, I don't know what they do, but I want to do what they do. And my mom was like, well, honey, it's a little bit more than just looking pretty. So,
Yeah, I know how to swim, but yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
right, clearly. Yeah, so that's how it all came about and came into fruition. So after that, after high school, I went straight for it and went into it.
Yeah. So I understand that you worked with the first all black crew on a private jet. How was that experience?
That was truly, truly an honor. In my 20 plus years, I had never been a part of as they call it, an ABC, all black crew. So it was
Oh,
exciting.
wow.
Yeah, yeah, we have a name. We have a name. No, it's
Oh, that's
ABC.
interesting. Wow.
But but yeah, it was truly, truly a remarkable moment to be able to say that I was a part of something that is new and was setting the stage for everyone else.
That is
Okay.
so awesome. I think this is so good because, one, you don't see a lot of us, and when you see a black pilot, that's a whole nother thing as well. So I just, commend you so much for just taking that step because you didn't know it until you touched on it, and you actually did it, and I commend you for that.
Well,
Really,
thank you.
really do. Yeah.
Thank you so
And you're
much.
helping others. So with that, is there any way that you give back to the community or like to young girls that maybe see, flight attendants and they see, the fluff? Like, how do you contribute back to society or community in with that basis of information?
Sure, absolutely. I make it an important part of my life to make sure I'm giving back to the community, whether it's speaking at engagements or even going to the lower income environments and speaking as a speaker on behalf of aviation, because I feel like a lot of little girls and little boys think that it's not obtainable because they don't see us. So I think it's very, very important for me to make my presence known and speak at those events, whether it's at a high school, whether it's at a community center, or your young boys and girls club.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. I
We have a
think we have
question on
a question.
from one of the audience people. Is there an age limit? Or
Yeah.
it's actually two questions, so I'll break it up. Is there an age limit?
No, there is not an age limit, actually. You can fly as long as you're able to get up and down the galley and up the aisles. You can fly as long as you like.
Okay. And what percentage of males in the private attendant business?
So, to be honest, it's not a whole lot in private aviation, which is another thing that needs
Oh.
to be changed. I do have clients that do request for an all male cabin attendant or flight attendant occasionally. So, they're just as in demand on times, but just like, everything else, there is a quota and there is a stigma of what they usually like on board. So, we have to change it. We have to change it.
Okay.
Wow. Now, see, I wouldn't have thought that. I would have thought maybe there would be some male in that, industry as well. That's interesting. Okay,
Hmm.
that's an eye opener. So, oh, I thought that was a question. So, one of the other things I was going to ask Um, I always got something funny to say. But do you give family buddy passes as well? Like what? How are we?
Well, unfortunately, in private aviation, we no longer. So I used to fly commercial as well. So I used to give buddy classes, and trust me when I tell you, my parents miss those days. But
Oh
unfortunately,
my gosh.
in private, there is no buddy passes.
Yeah, see, that sucks.
The salaries are a lot greater, so I feel maybe we can buy our own plane tickets.
Well, it's
So
definitely. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
what is something you like to leave as a note for aspiring African American flight attendants?
I would say, go out and do it. If this is something that you aspire to do, please, just take a chance on it. Give it a try. It may not be for you. You may find another sector of aviation and aerospace that you may want to venture into. I'm not telling you that flight attendant is the goal, the end goal here, or being a pilot. But there's so many other avenues that you can take in aviation. So just go for it.
Yeah, they got baggage planes.
Or they could work on the plane. They could maintenance the plane. They could fix the private jets.
Yes, that's true too.
Yeah. There's so many other
There's many.
areas.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm just so intrigued with you. I just think this is so awesome. Awesome. I would love to just kind of look and see where you go from this point on, because I want us to continue to follow you. And we haven't done an article for her in the magazine. We need to do that.
Our first time meeting, so
yeah, we need to do that because I really like her story, and I would like to, for our readers and listeners, to kind of read more and learn more about her, because I think this is good.
Her PR is listening in, so I'm sure she will touch back with us.
Yeah, Desiree is always listening, and she's like Jesus. She always she always in the back, like what they say.
I'm sure she just made a note, so we'll definitely be circling back again.
Yeah, but I love it though, dude. Yeah.
Thank you.
So we have another question here. I think I need my glass.
Do you do a security check on your client?
Oh.
Do you do a security check on your clients?
Not a security check, but there is a vetting process that the companies provide us with before we move forward with our clients.
And I think that's important too, because the flight attendants, they have to be safe, on an aircraft, as well as the guests. They need to be safe as well. So that's good that you do have that part of it as well. So this is good. Yeah, we definitely have to go back and circle back around with this, because we know you're busy and you have things to do. So we don't want to keep you, but it's been a joy meeting you and hearing you and just learning more about you. And I can't wait to discover all about Miss Tasha.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Such a pleasure to have you guys.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right, I'm sure we'll be talking again. So, like I said, your PR.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it.
I'm sure she'll send me an email so we can set up a meeting.
And
get those buddy passes. Just saying. But thank you so much, Tasha. We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Take care.
All right, have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I love that story. I just love that. And I know we can, learn so much more once we interview her and have her in the magazine. I think this is so intriguing. I love this.
Yeah, that was the first time we've ever had anybody in that space before. So
and aviation is such a, like she said, aviation is such a widespread industry, but you don't see a lot of us. You don't.
And I got a niece that's a flight attendant, so I need to hook her up.
Yeah, we need to get those buddy passes. I'm ready to go some places and do some things.
Nick, I think it's time for that commercial.
You asked for it, you got it. Glennis's Butter Biscuit Mix. Glennis's Butter Biscuit Mix. Get your mix. Light, airy, buttery, delicious. Glennis's Butter Biscuit Mix. Order yours online at glenniskitchen.com.
Glennis's Butter Biscuit Mix. Get your fix.
Well, Nick is quick on that trigger, ain't he?
I tell you, you see how it was last show? I tell you.
Ooh, Lord.
Nick be on it, I tell you. Woo, so we have our buff that's coming up for Positive Media Moment. We love our buff. We just
even though
love
she has no concept of time, we still love her though.
Yeah, she ain't never on time, but we love her, lateness and all. I call it
Lateness
buzzy beater.
I'll be there in 2 seconds. Half hour
Yes.
later.
2 seconds.
Where's Buff?
Where you at? I'm coming. So we love her some Buff. We love her. So let's get to Buff and Positive Media Moment.
All right.
Hey fam, how y'all doing?
Hey, darling.
Well, first of all, I'm on Cali time, so I can be late because we are 3 hours away from each other, so I'm on Cali time at all times.
Yes, and your time. So
yes, I
we just
am.
have to
Yes,
wait.
I am.
Our times are synchronized. 2 seconds is 2 seconds.
Well,
Is it
not for Cali time. It's Cali time. I won't be late every time.
Buff time.
Except for dinner. Except for dinner.
Except for dinner.
You know what? I am so excited. My daughter actually is a flight attendant for Delta. And she tells me all the crazy flight attendant stories. And, I don't know if you know this, but right now, Delta and all the airlines are having a really bad problem with people not making their flights and canceling flights.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter says, it's all good until you get in the air, they want to jack your flight up. So just stay on the ground. Stay on the ground. Staying on the ground keeps you safe. I don't want to get in a plane that's having difficulties because, then you start thinking, did I pay attention to that announcement? Like, where's the air? Where's the flotation device? So, because I don't listen to any of the instructions. I'm like, where's my volume button at? And it's funny when you're on a plane.
I remember when one customer asked me, "Can I smoke on the flight?" I said, "Yeah, on that wing outside the door."
At the door, right? People do it
right on that wing. You can have all the smoke sessions you want.
Well, I'm excited. I'm always excited about bringing Life's Positive Media Moment. Today, I have Alice Coachman. And what makes her significant is in 1948, she's the first Black woman ever in the world to win an Olympic gold medal. She competed in 1940. They canceled the Olympics because of World War II. 1944 they canceled, and she was number one then too. She was so good. She came back in 1948 and won the Olympics for the high jump.
Okay.
And it gets better. She comes back to the United States, and Coca-Cola was the first person to sponsor her, to give her a sponsorship. And Coca-Cola, I don't know if you know this, but they were instrumental in giving Black athletes platforms. Jesse Owens had one. Hank Aaron had one with Coca-Cola. Because why? Black people love Coca-Cola. And I just like the fact that they gave a sponsorship. And we have to in this show, I want to tell you, it has been so phenomenal in my life because it has me do a lot of research on people living in plain sight. These people need to be told in all our history every day. Our history is so rich. We shouldn't be subjugated. Sound
it out and say it slow.
Subjugated to 1 month. All children should know, Asian ones, Black ones, all colors should know how instrumental people of color have been throughout the whole United States. And Alice Coachman is one of the heroes we've had as a Black female in all of the world, the first one to win an Olympic gold medal. Tell me that's not phenomenal.
Yeah, that's actually pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
And she didn't even have tools. I mean, she grew up, she was born in 1923. They weren't supporting any women athletes. They weren't like, hey, we got a gym for you. This woman was so gifted. And in grade school, they noticed how great she was. High school, she actually went on to college and got a degree, and believe it or not, home ec.
Mm.
So I just want to give honor to all the people that came before us and continue to do amazing things for people of color.
All right. Thank you, Buff, for always enlightening us with these stories, these moments.
This is like that was like Wayne's World, I think. Thank you, Buff. Thank you so much.
Buff.
But that's pretty awesome. And plus with the Olympics going on now, it's like, I mean, I think that's pretty cool to know like the history of the Olympics and all of who else won, gold medals and so forth.
But she's the first.
And what sport. So, and it's the first. Yeah. So that's another thing.
In one of the world, like there's no other woman before her of color, the one before her. And I think that makes it also synonymous, just women in general. But for her to be able to compete for, what's that, with 3x4, 12 years, to be number one for 12 years in a row?
Every 4 years.
I mean, I didn't look the same 12 years ago. You know what I mean? I was good at some stuff, but now, you know, you keep your body in tip-top shape for 12 years, and you're competing against the world. So we definitely have to
pretty big. Yeah,
that's huge. We have to give our people their flowers.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's a good one, Buff. I like that. Good job. Once again, thank you, Buffy.
So Nick can take us to commercial again.
All right.
Really? I don't know who this Vanessa Anderson is, but she's writing some good stuff.
That's the doctor's corner. I keep telling you, she need her own segment. I'm just saying. I'm just the creator. I just say them and they appear. All right.
I'll say the next person and let him appear.
Go on. Go ahead.
No, I said the first one. It's your turn.
Monty? Okay, so we have Monty up next. And he's author. And he's like an extravagant man and very intelligent. So when this conversation and this interview happens, I hope everyone else joins in with asking questions, because this is a very interesting man and you're going to want to know and hear what he has to say. Okay. So we have Mr. Monty. Oh, wait, I need my glasses. Wait. All right, there we go. You didn't even wait for me to get the glasses on. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. How are you guys? Can you hear me okay? Is this working all right? I'm not good with this stuff.
You are good.
We can hear you.
About the angle of, because what the hell? Anyway, I didn't know it was so interesting. Where'd that come from? But okay, I'll take it. That's fine. Whatever I can get.
Oh, you are. I think you're very interesting from what I read. I mean,
okay, No. Let's go with that. Oh, what am I doing? Right? I'm not good with this stuff. Anyway, yeah. Let's see this.
So yeah.
Oh, there we go.
So let's fill everyone in on like what it is you do, and just give them some insight here.
Okay, yeah. So I'm a first-time author. I currently work for Honeywell, but I guess being an author is somewhat of a hobby unless something happens and I sell a bunch of books. But anyway, I was inspired to write because I got a little boy that was a phenomenal athlete all throughout his life, and I knew one day I'm gonna have to write down some of the things that this little guy was doing. And kind of fast forward, jump ahead, he is now a San Francisco 49er. So I wasn't too crazy in my thinking that what I was witnessing as he was growing up, that I had something special with that little kid. So anyway, I wrote a book. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because I'm trying to, because it's like a little choppy, the sound. Can you hear Pretty good,
Yeah,
though.
I can hear. So he's playing for the San Francisco 49ers. Is this his first year, or where
First
we at?
year, he was just drafted fourth round. He came out of first he went to UTEP, Texas, and then he
Hmm.
transferred to U of A and MVP. And he's always been an awesome, phenomenal athlete. And yeah, like I said, the boy, my boy from Mars is the name of the book. And I had something special. I couldn't just let it go. I couldn't just let it fade in my memory, or just let people just talk about this kid from little city of Maricopa without me doing something as far as some kind of record of what he did as a child. So yeah, I wrote this book, and after I wrote that one, I started writing more. So I've got two more on the way, and I'm writing a fourth. And
Oh,
so I've got
wow.
about maybe two or three others, yeah, that I'm kind of doing outlines for. And so, yeah, the floodgate has been open for me for the writing bug. So, there you go.
So
Okay.
so give everyone like a little snippet of what it's about. We know some of the summarized version, but like just give us like your from your angle, from your side. Why write the book? Why did you feel like you needed to do it?
Okay, well, like I've had a couple of interviews before, but for me, I was a chubby kid, not very athletic, came from an extremely athletic brother and father, and some other people in my family extremely athletic. And so when I had this little son of mine, I figured, if he's like me, that's fine. I'm just blessed to have a healthy little baby boy and have two little baby girls as well. But I remember he and I were watching Spider-Man, the movie with Tobey Maguire, and he started jumping around like Spider-Man, mimicking his moves exact and doing flips and whatnot. I mean, this is like 3 years old. And I'm like, what the heck? Well, look at this kid. I'm like, and he started doing front flips and just back flips and headstands and all this stuff. So I'm like, I really got something here. I think he might be a great Olympic athlete one day. I know we were just kind of talking about the Olympics a second ago. Anyway, so I put him in gymnastics at age 4, and he was in the little Mighty Bike program. Anyway, I know I probably don't have a lot of time, but anyway, he was in a competition for the whole entire facility that he was in gymnastics with. It was a pretty big gymnastics facility. It's well known here. I'm in Arizona. It's well known
Hmm.
for training Olympic athletes and whatnot. Take a long story short, his group, which was the tiniest group, the youngest group, was just there for an exhibition. He ended up winning the competition. He beat even the top level guys, even as far as the rings and the pommel horse and flips and
Oh,
headstands. He
wow.
broke a record as far as how long. Anyway, so from there I know, yeah, this kid is something else. So then I put him in other sports, and he's always dominated. And when I say dominated, people were like upset to see him coming. Oh crap, the game's pretty much over. Here comes Jacob Cowan. That's my son's name, Jacob Cowan. And so from there, at about high school level, I really started taking notes from all the things he was doing. And the kid's awesome. I love that kid. I love him to death. I'm so proud of him, and I couldn't be more proud of my son. His athletic achievements. Seriously.
So why the title? What made you name it Mars? Like
So
why
I'm a
the title?
huge comic book nerd, and I always
Because it
have been
looks
as a
like a
child.
comic book, yes.
Right,
I
right, right.
love
Everybody's like,
that
"What the heck
though.
is
I
this?"
love that.
Yeah, and he and I's favorite movie to watch together was the Man of Steel, Superman. And so it's kind of a nod to him and how I've always felt about him being like, kind of the Clark Kent. People didn't know he's a small little guy, but he plays big. So, he would come on the scene. Nobody would ever really give him any kind of thought or any kind of, they would pay him any mind. But as soon as that ball snapped or whatever, game he was playing, court, field, he became Superman. He became the most dangerous guy out there and the one that everyone's got to keep their eye on because if you let him, he will take over the game. And so yeah, we got the whole Clark Kent turning into Superman kind of look, but I wanted it to be for him. And then you have the C on the chest for Cowan. That's that's my life. That's his last name. So
So it's like
that's
a
where it
term
came
of
from.
endearment type of
It is definitely
yeah.
a term of endearment. I'm very proud of my son.
So what makes so how do you make that bond with your son? Has it always been that way? Has it worked, grew up to having that connection and knowing his ability and being so intrigued with his ability? Like how has that
Yeah.
relationship always been?
yeah, so I had a really rocky relationship with my father. I don't know what it is with that era, the father from that previous era, Vietnam era. He was a Vietnam vet. Anyway, so I just wanted to make sure that me and my son's relationship was way different. And so, close, took him everywhere with me. He was my little shadow before he was the famous Diggy Morrison. He was Monty's little shadow. Everywhere I went, he went. And I always put him in a lot of sports because I know keeping him busy was paramount because he had so much energy. And if he wasn't, going after his sisters, he was like trying to tackle the dog or something like that. So I had to keep that little dude busy. And it was perfect because he was so focused when he got on the field or court that it seemed like he just took the sports like a fish to water. And so, but everything I put him in, I was right there with him. I wasn't one of those pushy fathers. I ended up becoming a sports coordinator for the city we lived in, and so I was able to put him in everything and all the sports and whatnot. So, and like I said, we were just everywhere together. But it's not right now. It's not such a happy ending. He and I, unfortunately, we butted heads. Girls got involved. He's a
Ah,
superstar now, and of
we
course,
always do it.
yeah,
We're a mess.
we've been
We are a
estranged.
mess.
Yeah, man, it's breaking my heart. Like I love him so much, but yeah, we haven't spoken in a long time. It's been actually a couple of years,
Well,
and
I,
so I
I
just
pray
keep
that that
praying.
comes back around. Yeah. So,
Me too.
Yeah.
I like I said, I'm very proud of him, but I get things happen, and I wrote the book, and I mentioned that in the book. I'm just trying to be real, and I think being
hmm
real about what's going on is helpful to
Yeah, that
people. Not everything has a
authenticity.
happy ending. Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like you're a fan of like help self therapy or self help books. Is that something that you've always been interested in?
I know what. To be honest, I'm not much of a reader, so I'm not actually gonna
Me
put this thing
neither.
on audio. Hey, I'm being honest with you guys.
Nobody else does that.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not one for reading novels
I'll
and all that stuff.
summarize
Like
in a
I said,
minute.
no, I'm a comic. I'm an old comic book guy, and I still have collections of comics. So that's probably as far as my reading went. But
Yeah, we was talking about that backstage. We was talking about reading.
yeah, novels and all that stuff. I like marvel at people that can like read them Harry Potter but 600 pages. I'm like, how the heck do you do
Ah,
that? I barely got through the Bible. I'm like, dang man, I don't fucking do this. Anyway, but since then, like I said, I'm writing more and more. I can't seem to stop writing. So and it feels therapeutic to write. And like I said, in my books, I'm being real about what I'm writing about.
yes.
I guess maybe down the road I'll start writing some fiction stuff. But everything so far has been nonfiction. Like the next one's about relationship. My wife and I divorced after 24 years. I write about that's the next book called The Man Challenge. Then I write about the dating scene. I'm 50 years old, so I got back in the dating scene, and it's been crazy. But I do have a girlfriend now, and the book is called "It All Led to My Tax Lady." And so I'm just writing about real stuff in real life.
I love that. Yeah, and that's why I lean towards asking you that question as far as like self help, because it appears that that's kind of like your maybe your direction, especially with this book. It's very you like Marvel comics, you like comic books, so it has such a different impact and interest. I just like the design of it. Maybe I should just put it that way. I think you really
Well,
did
yeah,
a great job with that.
thank you. I wanted it to be eye catching. And I was
Yeah,
afraid that people might think it's just a big comic book. But, you read the cover, or I'm sorry, the back cover of it, and then you open it up and you realize and someone described it to me as it's a love story. It's about me and my son, and how much I love that kid, and how much
yes,
I'm
yes.
proud of him, and I'm a proud father. And I think a lot of times fathers get like pushed aside, no, no,
Man,
no, I'm not putting down moms or anything. But mom, athletes always like, hi, mom. But, who threw him that first ball? I'm pretty sure it wasn't mom. Us dads,
Right,
there's some
right.
good dads out there. We the ones out
Yeah.
yeah,
there, throwing the
man,
ball, talking about the game,
preach,
going through the drills, taking to the
preach,
practice. But mom, get all the credit, man.
The
Come on
Daryl.
now.
preach, preach, preach.
His mom didn't even want to play ball, but now he don't get praising her. I'm like, what the hell? So
Man,
yeah, man, us
fathers
fathers, we
don't
start
get
getting our accolades too, man. Come on now.
that. Fathers
Yeah.
don't get that. You know, preach it.
So
Nope.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. And I think, like Desiree stated, is that you're a big advocate for fathers and just the involvement
Absolutely.
of fathers in, their children's life, not just sons, but just in their children's life. So I think again, this tribute is excellent. I think it's so good. So what are your other books? Like what is the? I know you said relationship. What were the other books you're gonna dating? I
Yes.
might get that one.
Yeah.
I need some tips on that.
Yeah. Well, the second one. Yeah, yeah. But the second one
I
is
gotta
about.
wait. I gotta wait for
It's
I gotta wait for Buddy
yeah.
Pass, and I gotta wait for the book too.
Yeah. Wait for the book. Yeah. While you wait for the buddy pass, get on your plane trip, read the book. But yeah, my editor's like, man, I don't know about this one. It's pretty crazy, man. You might upset some folks with this one, so let's just edit it a little bit better. But I was trying to be real and raw. But okay, so the second one's the man challenge. It's about being married young and things don't work out, and I'm being real. I actually go back and talk about my grandparents' relationship, how things were crazy back then. But it seems like everybody seems to think that the past relationship or the past generation was better than this one. Ain't nothing new under the sun. What they was doing
Right.
back then is going on right now. Just technology is different, but relationships and crazy relationships ain't nothing changed. So I'm talking about their crazy stuff. But then
Right.
to answer your question, I wrote a children's book as well, and it's about all three of my kids when they were little and going through a bully situation at their daycare. It's called
Mhm.
Kiki and the Gigglers, and that book is done too. I'm just trying to get some illustrations for it. But I'm really excited about that book. Yeah, so not just my son, I got my two baby girls as well. And, love my kids, they're a whole world. Love them so much. I'm grateful for
Yeah.
them. So yeah, I had to write about them.
Well, good. I love that. I think that's really great. That's great of you to do as a father, I think, personally. So, and a wonderful tribute, and admiration, because it's like you're admiring, just him. And I think that's awesome, you know. So
Thanks for saying that. Appreciate it. I'm so grateful to be on your show and the platform for to put it out there.
yeah.
I got with Desiree a while back, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna set you up with some stuff, and put you on this show. I'm like, what's this show? She's like, don't worry about it. You gonna like it, and you gonna like the host. Everything's gonna be all good. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna trust you.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
Yeah.
So
We
yeah,
make
here
you
we are.
very comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
we,
love
we,
it.
we
Yeah.
always do that. We like to laugh and talk. So it's just
Yes.
like I said before the show, it's just a conversation. We're just gonna have some fun. So.
Yes.
But yeah,
And
I
then,
do
and
admire
go ahead,
your stance on fathers. Just like I'm the same way. So fathers, we need to get our due. And I admire what you're doing, your book and stuff. That's great. That's tremendous.
I
So
know. I love
Yeah,
that. I love that.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I think us fathers, it's time for us to. I think we're still in protective mode, even when we split from the mothers, and we don't want to harm that relationship. And it seems like kids gravitate towards the mothers. But I would hope the children understand that we love them just as much as the mothers do. Maybe
Mhm.
we're not as vocal, maybe we're not as nurturing. The fathers love their children just as much, and we want to be in their lives, and we want to be a part of what's going on. And even though
Yeah.
we're not together anymore, it doesn't mean they got to pick sides. And
right.
too many times, you're like you were saying, brother, like, we don't get our props, and we need to. I think men, black men especially, we need to talk more. And women
Yeah,
always talk, they always talk about their feelings and whatnot. I know for us, it's not such a popular thing for us to express ourselves and talk about what's going on emotionally. But I think we need to start doing that more. And that's what
yeah,
these books, I'm in the ballpark, especially the second book, Man Child. I talk about that, how we need to start, talking to one another more, communicate better.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well, once
agree.
again, yeah, I think you're doing an awesome job. I can't wait for that other books. And how can, everyone kind of get your book or purchase your book, your current one? Where do they need to go?
Yeah, Amazon, very simple. Go to Amazon and type in "My Boy from Mars" or my name or his name, Monte Cowing or Jacob Cowing, no L. Everybody want to put L in my name all the time. I don't know if that Al Cowing messed me up. Now everybody think I'm related to Al Cowing. OJ's like,
Yeah.
accomplice. Anyway, we ain't gotta talk about that. But it's just no L,
Right.
Cowing. Yeah. So My Boy
Okay.
from Mars on Amazon. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I love that title. I just love that title. I think
Right
that
when he
is
was
so
born, he was such an ugly baby. I remember. Yeah, his grandmother. She's like, that boy look like he's from Mars. He look like a Martian. And so that just
Did
kind of
not
stuck.
just
Like he's a little Martian. Yeah. So yeah, we called him, the little Martian. So that's where my boy from Mars. Plus the whole connection with the Superman story. It all just kind of
hmm
tied
hmm That's pretty cool. I love the cover. So I can't wait to see your other books and how they're the design, and because I love a book that just has a different look and it's just eye catching. So I think that's very creative on your end. Very creative.
Yeah.
So
All right.
all right.
All right. Thank you.
Well, we thank you for stopping by and visiting us tonight.
Yeah, hopefully I
Absolutely.
can do it for the next one too, or who knows? We'll see.
When are you
All
gonna have? When are your next books coming out, or have you started writing them yet?
Oh, the other two I mentioned, the Man Challenge and
Mainly the
Fear the
dating one.
Universe.
I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah, oh, it all led to my tax lady. Yeah, I'm probably 3 or 4 chapters in because I had
Okay.
about 14, 15 dates prior to getting to her. And boy, you want to talk about some stories? Because I was on this dating site that's it's for African Americans.
Oh
You know what I'm talking
goodness.
about? Yeah. And you talk about some crazy stuff. I write about all that. It's crazy. Anyway, yeah.
I can only imagine. But yes, so definitely when your other books are coming out, Desiree, I'm sure will reach out to us. We want to have you on again, for sure.
Yeah, your PR is listening too. So.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
All right.
All right.
Have a
All
good
right.
evening.
Thank you.
All right.
Once again, I tell
Bye.
you, I love it. Absolutely love it. That's good stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna go in there and get that book. Because I love comics. I mean comic books.
But you
So
gotta
and I'm
read it.
very much into all of that kind of thing. So it caught my attention right off the bat, just
But you
from the
gotta read.
visual aspect, huh?
You gotta read it though.
I know, but they have the audio version too. So thank you
Lord.
for sharing my business.
All I said, you gotta read it though.
I ain't got that kind of time. I got a
Okay.
lot of things going on, man. But yeah, but I love it. That was actually really good. I like him. So,
Okay, Nick.
Have you always dreamed of writing a book, but you're not sure where to start? Or maybe you've already written a book, but you don't know how to get it published? Don't worry, you're not alone. Self-publishing can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be. That's where Lyfe Publishing comes in. We're a full-service self-publishing company that can help you every step of the way, from formatting to distribution. We can even point you in the right direction for editing and marketing your book. With Lyfe Publishing, you can finally share your story with the world. We'll work with you to create a book that you're proud of, and we'll help you get it in front of readers. So what are you waiting for? Start your self-publishing journey today with Lyfe Publishing. Visit our website or give us a call to learn more.
thank you. I be having conversations,
That could be any quicker than I thought it would.
I gotta have conversations. I got a lot going on. I told you. I ain't got time to read. I need the audio version.
Lord have mercy.
Oh goodness. All right. So our next gentleman. Oh, well, you go ahead and you introduce this gentleman.
Oh, you want me to do it this time?
Yes, you got this one. We tag teaming. Go for it.
All right. So
I think he liked you better anyway because I kept talking about.
actually, he's a musician, so he fits right into my realm.
That's
so.
why. Hello. I know what I'm doing.
Okay. So we got a musician again. We always like to have these musicians in the house, but this guy is special because he was actually the composer on BET Plus, I believe. It's the family business show. So for a couple of seasons, he was the composer for the music. So I'm very impressed with that already, with just that one line on the resume. So let's bring on Rob Diggy right now to talk to us about his musicianship.
Hey, what's going on?
And how much you love
Hey, girl.
StreamYard.
Oh, I love StreamYard. I just
Yeah,
love it.
there you go.
No, give me a Zoom date any day and I'm good. Lord, and this is my second interview. I had one last week and a half, and it did the same thing. Same thing. So I'm trying to
Well,
figure this whole.
we
And
won't
wait,
talk.
and here's my camera. I had just unplugged my camera, so I
We
gotta
won't talk
get.
about StreamYard.
I
So
get it. I
so
get it. We
we
gonna
won't
get it
be
right.
mad at you and take the video out again.
What is going on?
So I your PR is also listening. That seems to be the theme tonight.
AKA
That's the biggest thing tonight.
When your PR reached out to me and said, "Hey, I had the composer for a BET show," I was like, "We need to have him on." So I want to talk to him.
Yes.
So, tell us your musical background. How'd you get started in music?
This is an hour-long show, but anyway, I'll cut it down. 10 seconds. Music has always been a part of my household. My growing up, my mom's household, my grandmother's, and they would play. My uncles would play music, and we would watch and learn. My grandmother was, "Oh, that's not right," and I'm like that now, But Mama, we got this. We got a show in the morning. We got tomorrow night. We got to get this, and watching them play. Walking into the room when the instruments were just there and they go home or whatever, that Saturday morning we get up playing instruments and not knowing what we were doing, we sounded damn good.
Wow.
Can say that. And what happens is that my mom, they wound up buying us equipment, so we started performing outside in front of us. It was like crowds of people. We did the Park District. We even played for Harold Washington, late Mayor Harold Washington in Chicago. Our band played for him. So we did a lot of cool things with aldermans and things like that. So that's where I got that start, But later on, hanging around cats and just learning the business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your primary instrument?
My main instrument is piano and guitar. Well, I'll say guitar first, piano second. Okay, she said, "Do not curse on the show." She just texted me, but
Monty did it so many times.
Okay, there you go. But yeah, piano is my main. Guitar is my main. But I played trombone in college. I was a trombonist, and I was pretty good. I was pretty good too. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how did you tell us how you get into composing music for BET?
Oh, that was simple. Instagram.
Really?
It was that simple.
That's simple. The composer for for season 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, because it is. Yeah, it was different.
Yeah. Matthew Head. My hat's off to him. Matthew Head, who's out of Atlanta, and he got 2 gigs, some Warner Brothers. Some WB stuff, and 2 other. It was like P Valley.
Okay.
P Valley. And so when they called me, I was when normally when I think it's 818 or 213, when those numbers come up and I know the numbers, I know it's money. Literally, I'm not even I
really?
know. Yes, ma'am. I already know that somebody's calling for some work. I very seldom get consulting calls, so I know this one was money, and he hung up. Trey Haley, the director, called because my number was attached to Instagram. And he had went on my SoundCloud and heard a lot of my scores. And that's when he called, hung up, but he called from my Google number. That's the number that I have on Instagram. I called right back. I said, "I'm not letting this money get away. This is money on this line. I'm not letting it get away." Right. And so when he called, I said, "Hey, you called Rob?" He was like, "Yeah, well, my name's Trey Haley, and we're looking for a composer for the family business." First off, are you busy? Because the work requires you to be like glued to to your screen and computer and stuff. You can't. It's no time for mistakes or anything. You can't go vacationing right there. And I told him, yeah, I said, I can handle it. You know, I got this. Had never did. I had done series, not 10. I've done some series, but not 10.
Right. Oh,
You know,
wow.
maybe I think up to it was like 4 or 5 at the most. And
Mm-hmm.
he says, well, we'll send you over the information. You'll talk to our showrunner. We'll do a 3-way. We'll talk about some figures or whatever. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. I think Saturday night, I woke up Sunday morning, that was a check. Before I got started.
And what was that number? What was that number
That
again?
was a big number. It was so big it woke my mom up out of her sleep. You got to hear that's another story though, but
So
Oh,
one of
that's
the things, yeah. So one of the things that's so interesting to me, because one, I watched the show, I've seen it plenty of times, love it, absolutely love it. How do you put together the sounds and the, the how does that come about, and how do you compose music for a whole series? Like, how does that go about? Where does your mind need to go?
right. That's a very interesting question. I just over time, after you've seen these characters a bunch of times, you know what LC's character theme is probably going to be. So I sit back and create themes. That's what we do. So these themes can dictate all through the show.
Hmm.
There's LC again. You hear his theme, or it may be the LC and the boys. That's their whole theme. So every time you see them or a meeting on that boat, a yacht, or whatever, then
Mm-hmm.
you always hear that theme. So in terms of how, it's just a matter of going through tons and tons and tons of sounds, because you never know, like, when they're going to call you. So, I say, oh, this sound might sound good for the family business, or this sound might sound good, or
Mm-hmm.
this sound. So I label them TFB, O1 or whatever. And so basically when I get to do the show, I'm like, let me see, I'll play the keyboard and see if this feels good along with, this actor or whatever. So I'm like, no, this doesn't fit. And sometimes if nothing fits, I literally have to go online in the middle of composing and see what's out there in terms of sounds. Plug
Ah,
we call them plugins. You know,
ah,
Mhm.
so I'll go and find of something like maybe something that costs maybe $100, $150, or whatever. Um,
mhm.
I've spent up to like maybe 545 on just a unit for just sounds,
Hmm.
but something might have been on sale, and I might buy 2 of them or whatever just for that one sound, because this is the sound I need to elevate this whole thing. So I did that pretty much throughout the series. I was like, oh, I want that, I want that, I want that, and it all worked because I was able to now have a different identity than I did in season 4.
Ah.
Yeah, it was
Okay. And
quite
yeah,
different.
because don't you have to try to make it flow a certain way throughout the show, because there's different, scenes throughout the season. So it's like the sound would have to compose, at least like a,
You,
I
you,
don't know
you're,
what the
you're
thing would be.
100%. You're 100% right. I mean,
Okay.
like, you just have to, like, I didn't do a lot of percussion. Yes, I did. I can say 50-50 with percussion instruments.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the ticker things, just rhythmic type stuff. If you listen to the series, you'll hear a lot of rhythmic undertones, some hi-hats and things like that. And that keeps me on beat with the rhythm, with my pianos or whatever I'm doing.
Mhm.
But let's say after I've gotten a full score, and I can take that little ticker out because I don't need it,
Hmm.
and then, or I keep it in or whatever. And then you tell a story with the music. So if you got this piece that's, say 30 seconds long, you can pull in and pull out parts. I don't like this. Oh no, let's just hold on. You don't want to give it away all the way. So you just
Hmm.
in and out. So that's where, that's what makes a good arranger and a good composer, because
A
they
range of
know.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, again, I've watched the show. I've never really paid attention to, like the whole composing aspect of it, but of course now I am. But I think that's so interesting because you really have to have a certain skill, like a ear skill, to know and visually know how to place sound with movement. How do you do that? Like, where do you go? Like, do you have to kind of stay centered, or meditation? Because it doesn't just come naturally.
It does for me,
Or maybe it
honestly.
does. You know what?
It,
Maybe it
it,
does.
it, it it does. It really comes naturally because people may ask, well, where are you getting your inspiration? I'm like, I don't
You
have
didn't
any. I
say
just work.
Instagram, right?
Some Instagram models, no. No, but it's just a natural thing for me to be able to watch and say, oh, it needs this. I may start with
Wow.
piano and may end with a ukulele, you know.
That is
Um,
so interesting. I think
I,
that's
I
so cool.
I don't know, like for like my partner was here during the time I was working. He would get off work and he would come by. So of course he's seen all of the episodes or whatever, or most of them. But that was this thing where I had to play a lot of guitar. Well, I think 5 on, you're gonna hear more guitar, bluesy. Cause they do some southern things, you know, because they're trying to spin off with this New Orleans thing, and so you're gonna hear some redneck guitar,
Mhm.
slide guitar. And I'm so impressed with that because who's playing redneck guitar? I mean, like I've never heard anything on BT so far, like with somebody just doing this country bluegrass or whatever. So
Mhm.
am I standing out? Yes. And I love that because now that sets me apart from somebody that can't play guitar and keyboards and incorporate it all into a scene. That's a blessing. So yeah, I had fun watching those guys in the film and say get a rope or whatever they said, and I'm going, okay, I know what this some
Right.
deliverance here, deliverance music, you know. So
Right.
I can't wait to. I think it's like 2 o'clock in the morning that comes on. I think I'll stay up and watch it.
Wow. So
Let
what
me ask you
other
this:
show? Oh, go ahead.
you had the first 3 seasons were done by someone else, right?
Hmm.
Matthew Head, and my
Right.
hats off to him.
So then when you picked it up, how did you go back and watch what he did and then try to make it continue to flow through season 4, or did you kind of just say I'm gonna change it to make it me?
Well, it was a combination of both. I listened to him because he was like, go back and listen to the show. But in 4, things opened up a little differently. I don't know if you have catch up totally with the show, but it turns out that he wanted, because Larry Duncan is like on this crazy trip or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so they say, well, hey man, it's gonna get interesting when it opens up. It's gonna go into this whole creepy thing with Larry Duncan and he's evil. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I know exactly what you want. I know what you need for this. So with having the asylum scenes and things that centered around Larry, I was able to be demonic, not demonic sounding, but just the sounds of dark. I use a lot of key of D to get that, just that whole,
Right.
that feel. So the dynamic feel. So now, um, I was able to say, you know what, I get it. And when the director saw 4 of 1, episode 1, he says, hey man, I got about 4 things I need you to fix. Just shift this over or take that out. I don't want that or whatever. And it was done. Episode
Mm.
1 was in the can, and I hadn't. That was my first time having to do it with like only a couple of revisions. So it's always good when you can work and be right with the director, like neck and neck. So when he says, "Hey, I'm already there," you know,
Right.
already there. Mhm.
That
Okay.
is so. Yeah. So what other shows have you composed for? Like,
I've done a lot of things like some feature things. I have a
mhm.
lot of features on Tubi. I can't
I love
think of,
Tubi.
think of the names right now, but Tubi.
Yeah, there's
Death,
so
Death,
many. Yeah.
Death by Envy is one of them. I know for sure.
Oh,
Death by Envy.
I've actually seen that.
It's a
Yeah.
Christian film. You saw that?
Yes. Yes.
Death by Envy.
That
Yeah, I did.
was that was a while ago though. Yeah.
That was me.
I've
That was
seen.
me.
Oh, see.
Well, I did music.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I know it wasn't you in the show. But okay, see, and that makes me want to go back and like watch it again because now when there's a backstory, I love that.
Yeah,
What
it's
what are
always a
some of the other
backstory.
ones or you
I've done some stuff for BT where it was a Christmas movie, For the Love of Christmas, I believe it was.
know?
For the
Okay.
Love of Christmas with Jasmine Lewis. Very unique movie. And if you get a chance to watch it, it's somewhere on Amazon Prime or BT, one of the two.
Okay.
and that's some suicidal things. Some shorts I've done for BET Her. So I've been all over their little networks and things like
Okay.
that. So
I think
some stuff on Apple,
well, that's
Mm.
good. So you've been doing it for quite some time, composing and I guess just music in general.
Well, you know what? Music in general. I just finished up some theme music for a show, Indigo Studio. That's Hermine Hartman in Chicago.
Mhm.
She's a talk show host here in Chicago, and she called me Friday. She says, "Hey, where's my theme music?" I'm like, "I don't have it. I'll get it to you by Tuesday." And I did get it to her yesterday, and she listened. So I sent her like 6 selections, and she'll pick one. But my point to that is that I don't do a lot of production work, like for artists, people like come to my studio.
Okay.
It's pretty much not a blur, but I just don't get a lot of artists that want to come in and record, because think about artists,
Hmm.
it's not a you're not gonna make a whole lot of super money being an artist in this climate right now. You're just not gonna do it. It's not gonna happen. So as I'm thinking about film and television, that's where I'm staying. I'm not moving. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
you know.
actually pretty good. Yeah, that's
You
good.
got
We
to
got a
work with a rapper that comes over, and then you do 10 songs on him. He pays you, but then the record never comes out. I've
Mm.
been faced with that so many times. I'm like, you know what? I'll
Go
just
where the money is guaranteed, pretty much. Makes sense.
you
So
got
we
a
have a
yeah.
question.
question. Yeah, we have a question from Carlton Bailey. Are we gonna
Speaking of
read the silence or what?
speaking of sounds with movement, what are his thoughts about composing a soundtrack while viewing the film? Reportedly, Miles Davis played the soundtrack while viewing a French film.
I guess the first part, and speaking of sounds with movement, um, that was just like what I think Tina, right?
Yeah,
My name
What?
is Tina.
Right. That's what you
Oh,
were
I,
saying. That's what you were saying earlier
I
about
forgot
sounds.
my name.
Hey, I think what Carlton is saying
It's
is
been a
that
long
sounds with
day.
movement is dealing with
Yeah,
pretty much the same thing you were saying,
yeah.
being able to flow with the scene, and
Hmm.
determining what sounds you need.
Yeah,
I hope I
yeah.
answered that, Carlton.
Yeah, and it was pretty much when you had answered it early on, because that is something that, it doesn't come natural for many of us, but for you it does, which is a talent in itself, to
Yeah,
actually be able to watch something and just put sound with it, just on like visual. It's, I think that's so intriguing. That's a talent for real.
you
Everyone's
know
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Like tomorrow, when I listen for each series is sound. Like what does it sound like? So this thing
Mm,
went from my hands to another producer's hands. When I left my hands, all I had to do was play the music, log it in, send it to someone else, a friend of mine who's a producer, arranger, and engineer. Send it to him. Then he mixes it. He gets a pre-mix on it. Then it goes to LA, and they have a post-production house out there, and then they do the final. So now when I'm listening, I'm listening for the mix. What does this mix sound like? Is every instrument played or heard or whatever? You know what I'm saying? So I'll
mhm.
be able to, I have these big, you can't see them, but they're big speakers, like studio speakers. So I listen to it on the web through these speakers, and I get everything, So I'm getting to hear it, and I blast it too. So I'm listening for the mix. I'm very critical of that. Hmm.
Right. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, we have a comment from Pauline Williams. Excellent interview, Rob. I can't wait to work with you again.
Yes, Miss Pauline. I've been working with her. We've been off and on getting it together though, but it's coming. It's
yeah,
coming.
and
And
so
I did a
you're
short film. Hmm?
okay. So that's kind of considering along the line of like producing, right? Like is
I
it
produce.
like composing, and that's like
It's a
producing?
production involved.
Yeah, like okay.
Yeah, I don't. When you talk about an artist, if I have artists over here, I then have to kind of guide them on a production standpoint. But for me to do what I do by myself, then I'm just here producing my own music, sending it out, You know, because you know a lot of the guys have all these studios with all the knobs and all the little compressors, and I don't have any of that. I got a laptop, a computer, a keyboard, and an interface for my mic, and that's it. You know, people get all hung up on, you know, you gotta have this, you gotta have the latest this and the latest that, and it's gotta do this. Nah, but a lot of stuff is built in. So I don't even, like I said, I don't even use the stuff because I have to send my stuff out anyway for somebody else to take care of it. So there's no need for me to have all those plugins over here for mixing and things like that. Mm-mm.
So what is this about the new college venture?
Yes.
Oh yes, I'm now appointed on the board of advisory board, I should say, at Prairie State University, and I meet with them the 8th of August. They had to move the dates back. We were supposed to do it July 11th and the 18th, but they sent the kids home, a COVID scare or something like that, so they had to reschedule. So we meet on the 8th and the 18th, and I do 2 workshops while I'm there. So I do film and television workshops, and the guy that I'm working with is my assistant on the family business. He's the one mixed all of my sound. So it's his gig at the university, so at college. So I'm coming in to definitely do a workshop with them and showing them, like, maybe I think it's like 2 or 3 hours to sit with them and just show them techniques about scoring. These kids are like brand new to it, so I get a chance to just stretch out, and so that's pretty cool. And then on the 30th, I do it again at another community workshop, film workshop, where I talk about film composing.
Yeah, and I think that's so important to give back. I think that's definitely, because it's like if you have a gift, you have a talent, it's not just for you. You have to share that gift. So I think that's definitely a great way to give back. Really impressed. Really impressed.
Thank you so much. Can I mention that I'm a Hall of Famer at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff?
All right. Let's throw that in there. Let's just throw that in
throw
there.
my Hall of Fame in there because he said, "Man, you never mention the school when you do your interviews." So I'm mentioning the school.
Well, there you go.
The university that I attended, and
all right.
Good deal. Good deal.
Congratulations there.
Do you have any questions about the wall right quick before we go?
Well, I don't have my glasses on, but all I see is blonde hair, and it looked like Whitney, but I don't know if it's Whitney.
That's
or not.
Beyonce.
Oh.
I got a Janet. That's a Janet. I think you can see the Janet. My head is covered in Beyonce.
Oh, I didn't see. Okay. Well, I did read something that with what's her name? Kelly Rowland. No.
Okay. Beyonce.
Okay. Maybe I needed my glasses that
Kelly
time
Rowland
too.
record before. Yeah, just all Beyonce and Destiny's Child.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you done? Yeah. So what have you done with Beyonce and Janet?
Well, I got a Grammy with Beyonce in 2004 for the remix of Crazy in Love. And it's one of those things where you go to the studio after work and you do the work and you go home and you forget about it. That's how it was. And then some months later, it was up for a Grammy for remix of the year.
Okay,
awesome.
Good.
So
and Janet Jackson just had a concert out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. Yes, it was great.
And that award, her award is platinum and gold. And it was the year that she did the little exposure thing at the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Right after that, sales went through the roof. And I called the guy that makes the plaques. I was like, "You got me?" He's like, "I got you."
Okay. Well, great. So it's definitely you have your skills and you have your talents for sure. You're a man with all trades. You wear many hats.
Thank you so much. I do. Really
you wear many hats.
You wear them well too.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you. Appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you coming by and talking to us tonight.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Maybe your PR will want us to talk again and get in the magazine or something. I don't know. She's
she's up for that. I think she would be up for that, and I would be up for it as well.
Yeah, okay. I think that would be pretty awesome. Pretty
sure she's still listening. So
you're not gonna talk about StreamYard no more. We good, right?
we you know what? I kind of
Just
like
say
it
you
now.
good. Just say, Diggy, just
I
say
like
you
it. I
good.
say I kind of like it now. I've been on here, there's no
Okay.
interruptions or anything. So yeah, this is gonna work until I get
All
my
right.
camera hooked up.
Okay.
Well, you have a
Thank you
good
so much. Thank you. Thank
Thank you.
you.
All right. Bye bye.
That was so cool. I love
Nick
it.
did
Now,
that.
and Darren Henson, he was on the, he was like one of our covers back in the days when we first started with the magazine.
Right.
Darren Henson, because he's in family business.
That's that. That was a way back cover,
Yeah,
boy.
he was on the cover. Yeah.
They know
And
the first year, 2017.
he drove
wasn't
me crazy. Drove me straight crazy. I was like, this man right here, I ain't doing that no more.
it? Yeah, he was. That was been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we
That
want to make sure we don't leave without saying thank you to Desiree for
of
if
course.
you notice, all of the guests were Desiree's clients. So.
Yeah, she is the hardest working PR person I've ever met. Like, and haven't really met, but I met. I mean, she's doing the thing, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So kudos for
Thank you,
Desiree.
Desiree. And speaking of Desiree, the next show, 2 out of 3 of the people will be Desiree's clients.
And we need to have Desiree on the show. Like, she needs to do an
I keep telling her we need to have her on
do
here.
an interview, or she needs to be in a magazine, or both. Both of those things, those need to happen. So Desiree, like, sister girl, stop playing. Let's do this. Come on.
All right, well, that's all we have tonight.
Yeah. So next show we have next show.
That's it. We have two clients from Desiree.
I know. I thought you was gonna say the names. You weren't just gonna like.
We're gonna surprise them.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'll tell you. We're gonna have a meeting after the show, okay?
Okay. You're gonna have a meeting after the show. I'm gonna eat.
See? So unfair. But thank you everyone for joining us and with your questions and comments. Of course, Desiree, thank you. You are just awesome. You keep us busy for sure. But thank you, Pauline Williams, Colton Bailey. Who else we have? Marion Moo Young. We had quite a few people on here. Sheldon Carr. So we, thank you guys again. Thank you so much for joining us, and tune in to next show. Okay.
August 7th.